Here's more money in the news. It looks like the latest celebrity to be ready, musician, to sell his entire catalog is Mr. Bruce Springsteen.
Really?
He's negotiating now with Sony for the sale of his entire catalog. They're saying he'll get around $415 million for it. $415. He was one that I would have thought might never do that. I mean, a lot of artists have. David Crosby, Stevie Nicks, Journey,
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan even sold out.
I think when Bob Dylan sold out, every artist went, okay, I'm good.
Gave him the go-ahead to do it. Springsteen, for a long time there, really avoided like commercialization of his music, didn't he? Didn't he do that?
Always has. I mean,
I thought,
he never. It's never been in commercials that I know of.
That's what I thought.
What's the benefit of passing it down to your kids or your grandkids?
The catalog?
Yeah, I mean, so they can sell it later, or
Right.
at least this way, you know what. If you think of them as your babies, your music,
Your songs.
at least you know where it's going, as opposed to letting it scatter to the winds with your stupid kid.
Well, and now...
You trust Sony over your stupid kid?
I trust them to have the billions.
I think some people would.
And so they get... I just... who was I was reading? Oh, Daniel Craig says he won't leave his children the inheritance. You always like that. Warren Buffett said the same thing.
Yeah.
He'll leave enough to get by.
I think it's bluster. I think people don't do that.
That's what I'm going to do. I'm not leaving them my money. Oh, yeah, I am. There's nowhere. Well, who else would wind up getting that?
Sony?
But, yeah. This kind of money. But if he gets $415 million, then he can pass it on from generation to generation.
He'll know where it's going.
Yeah, he can direct it.
If he dies with it still in his own, with his rights, then who knows what happens to it.
So, I mean, I don't understand all the legalese of all this of selling your catalog, because Bob Dylan, I think, is gearing back up for yet another tour, which means he'll be playing his music. Does that mean whoever he sold the rights to get a piece of his?
Well, maybe
they get a piece of the tour.
Maybe
that's
how
the
it
contract's written.
That's a good question.
He may have said in his contract, "I get to play it."
And then
but I don't know
if Springsteen sells all of his songs, does that mean that this can be used in a commercial without he can't say anything about it?
It's certainly possible. I would think, right?
Absolutely.
Why else would they want to buy it?
Exactly.
I mean, it will accrue value.
Unless they
sometimes when people die, it goes up.
Yeah, or they say he said, "Look, after I'm dead, you can do what you want with it."
Yeah, maybe depends on how he's negotiating now.
Give me the $500 million now.
Anthony, you're talking about Bruce Springsteen maybe selling his catalog. Go ahead.
I was flicking through the channels this weekend, and I stopped on BBC, and it wasn't Graham Norton, but it was another interviewer. I can't think of his name. I've seen him many times. And Bruce Springsteen was on there, almost unrecognizable.
Really?
He looks bad.
Really? I just saw him on CBS Sunday Morning, and I thought he looked thin. Did you? That's what I thought. He looked like.
His whole face was sunken in underneath his chin. Yeah. You could see his jawbone.
Yeah. I just thought he looked very thin.
Oh, I haven't seen any recent pics.
I didn't think he looked horribly unhealthy. I just thought, boy, it looks like he's lost weight,
You saying he's selling this because he's not well?
Is that your...
Maybe he's cashing out.
Remember, that poor Chadwick Boseman. Remember how bad he looked at some of his movie premieres?
Yeah, that's
He was deathly ill, and nobody knew.
Nobody knew it. I suppose that's possible.
He seems like the type of person that wouldn't tell anybody.
Thank you, Anthony. Yeah, he does. I agree.
Is he still doing that podcast with Barack?
That's why they were interviewing him on CBS Sunday Morning. He's got a book out with Barack, too, based from the podcast.
Anybody listen to that?
Well, I did not. They've become friends. Nope. He and Barack became real good friends.
I got no problem with that, but who's going to listen to them two talk?
And what are they talking about?
I don't know.
Well, they talked about race, and they talked about music, and their upbringing, and their fathers. I saw this on CBS Sunday Morning.
Okay.
They taled about how the
fathers are certainly central figures in both of their lives.
Both their
lives.
That's
a fact.
And then they talked about race in America and why we discuss around it and don't meet it head on and all that kind of stuff. And it got very, very deep.
Let's see the waterfall at the end of the show.
That's right.
Game day starting.
Should be the birds chirping.
Went over to red zone after that. I was like, okay.
Here's a waterfall.
Yeah, when they started talking about that, and my wife walked in and said, "Oh, what are these two doing?" Oh, they're buddies all of a sudden.
Look at these two liberal twins.
Yeah. I know how to think. Thank you.
Exactly. Rick, you're talking about Springsteen. Now, they're saying he may sell his catalog for $415 million. Go ahead.
Well, my question is who is going to have control of political campaigns playing songs? What if Sony agrees to let a candidate use a song or pay for a song that Springsteen disagrees with?
Good question.
That's a good question.
Now, maybe he writes that kind of thing in.
That's why you get the lawyers involved. I mean, it's you take all of that into account.
It's possible, and I think the former occupant of the White House didn't care. I mean, people were telling him not to play his music. He did it
They
anyway.
played it anyway.
Bruce says don't play it. Let's go.
Glory days, they pass you by.
Pay the
In the
fine.
wake of a young girl, well, a very young girl.
Pay the fine. Pay the fine.
What's he care?
Pay it.
Here's another. I'll tell you, former guest on this program making some news today, Scottie Pippen, who stopped in. Remember when Scottie stopped in, unbeknownst to us? one
Nice
time?
guy.
Yeah, we saw him getting out of a limo out front. It was like,
Could not have been more generous with his time.
What is Scottie Pippen
been
doing
here.
We
On a
were just
Wednesday.
sitting in the room doing this, our usual falderall.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
said, is that NBA legend Scottie Pippen that just walked past?
Yeah, he wandered in. I think he was in the wrong place, and we chatted with him. Well, now he's written a book called Unguarded,
Yeah, he is.
and he is not holding back about Michael Jordan. He says Michael Jordan is selfish, hypocritical, and insensitive. And he says, I didn't get a dime out of that documentary last year on the Bulls where the ESPN paid him, Michael Jordan, $10 million. And he didn't like the way he was treated in that documentary.
Yeah, I think Pippen and Horace Grant said they were. I think they were the most vocal about not enjoying the way they were portrayed in the documentary.
Well, they did make Pippen, but he did it to himself. I mean, they had that part
He
about...
doesn't help.
No, he had that part about not wanting to take or he refused to go into a game late because the shot was designed for somebody else, not him. This is after Jordan left. And they asked him in the documentary, do you want to take that back? Would you do it over again? He goes, I'd do it the exact same way. Well, I mean, he said that.
Yeah.
That documentary is nothing without Michael Jordan.
Of course, nobody cares.
course.
Nobody cares.
That's what I mean. So I don't know what he can gripe and say selfish. He didn't get paid, but no kidding, dude. No, they needed him. They probably didn't need you as much.
In the book, Pippen says, you want to know what selfish is? How about retiring right before the start of a training camp when it's too late for the organization to sign or bring in any free agents? That's what Jordan did to us. And then he says that he treated his teammates poorly, Jordan, and that they've never been close. They're not friends now, never have been friends. It comes out next Tuesday, the book. And I just noted, and he told us that Jordan inducted him into the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, Pippen,
Made the speech.
Yeah, he made the speech. So it's like if they're not close, if they're not friends, why did you have him induct you into the NBA Hall of Fame?
They're so conjoined, in lore, in our minds, in the culture.
I know it's the two of them. Always, it seems.
I mean, if he didn't, I think people would have said, "Why didn't you have Michael do it?"
Probably.
And he's pissed he didn't get paid for that documentary.
He's
the
He's
way he
just
was
pissed the way he
portrayed.
was portrayed.
He's both.
Because if he didn't get paid, that's on him. You don't do the documentary and then ask for money.
He's famous for signing bad contracts.
Yeah.
They pointed
He
out
did
in
it
the
again.
documentary.
I bet he didn't sign anything.
They thought it was cut. He thought it was cut in a way that made him look bad. He didn't like it. Jordan got paid for it. He didn't. And he says Jordan is selfish and all of those things. Jordan he comes off in the documentary as being like, all I care about is winning. I want to win.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever it takes.
It starts with Jordan saying, people are not going to like me after they watch this.
Yeah, he did. And he was brutal on his teammates.
Yes.
Mission accomplished.
He did. That's Scott.
Will you read the book?
Me? No. No, I will not read the
Somebody
book.
will read it.
Someone will read the
Someone
book.
on ESPN will read it and tell us about it.
I will not read the book. No.
I just think that it comes off very whiny, bitter,
Kind of
Just-
soury.
sour post. Yeah.
Well, maybe we'd have a different opinion if we read the book. I'm not going to do it. Okay? I'm not going to read the book. Let's put that out front right
I
now.
think calling Michael Jordan an a-hole after Michael Jordan called himself an a-hole, pretty useless.
Well, but I did picture them when he told us he's inducting me into the Hall of Fame, and I think they were portrayed. I thought they were friends, but you knew Jordan would do whatever it takes. Scottie made some mistakes, even with Jordan not there. I didn't know he didn't dislike Jordan the way he does.
But let me tell you this. I think Scottie probably needed that fake friendship to help be Scottie Pippen after retirement too.
Well, maybe you're right.
I think if they had never gotten along, I don't think he would get the interviews. I don't think people would care as much.
I don't care if they're not friends. I mean, I never pictured them as being buddies. You always saw Michael and Charles Barkley playing golf, but you never saw pictures of Pip out there.
No, he's never out
on the course.
Speaking of Barkley, by the way, there's something he's saying today, and this is talking about interviews as well. There was an in-depth interview with one of Michael Jordan's best confidants, Roy Williams. There's a guy named Graham Benzinger who does in-depth interviews. It's called In Depth with Graham Benzinger. And
I'm not sure I know the man.
I know. And I said to Chris Demm, this should be me. He sits down with legends of sport and gets them to really talk about
rules?
No rules. A
No
total
holds barred.
No holds barred sit down.
What's his background?
He sat down with Roy Williams and he said, see, Chris Demm said this should be you. It should. That's this is what I went to university for. This is where this is what.
Why didn't you do it?
That's what I've been trained for, right? So Graham Benzinger sits down with Roy Williams and asks him first about technology. What do you think about social media, your computer, your emails?
Just now in social media and computer work, I don't do any of that stuff. I'm the only guy you've ever known that does not have an email.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. No. When email first came out, I had a computer at Kansas, and I'd press a button. It said, "You've got mail," and it'd be sort of cute. The fifth day, I went in and pushed the button. It had 208 messages. And I cut it off, closed the computer, and never opened it up again. I came here, and they said, "Where do you want your computer?" I said, "I don't want one." And they said, "Well, you got to have a computer." I said, "No, I don't." They put a computer behind my desk. I never opened it in 18 years.
So you have a smartphone?
I don't know what this is.
It was a phone. Well, he said, I taped my grandkid's picture to it. That's what he had.
Taped it.
You know they make screensavers, right?
He had pictures of the grandkid.
Wicked Wanda make him carry that around.
Wicked Wanda is Roy's wife.
He calls her Wicked Wanda?
He does.
Yeah.
In his retirement speech, he said, Wicked Wanda's the head of this family.
He said it several times.
He did. He goes, Wicked Wanda's the centerpiece of the family. Great mother, great, wonderful grandmother. There's a story that this in-depth reporter, Graham Benzinger, brings up about how Roy proposed to Wicked Wanda, and it had to do with a jockstrap.
What's this I hear about a jockstrap proposal?
So we're going to a movie, and at that time, I always was ready for a game. So I had my shoes and socks, gym shorts, and my jock, in the back seat, because if I went by a playground and guys were playing, I'd stop and play sometime.
That's how I am with pickleball. You know that.
You see how it breaks out on the side of the street?
Yep.
Thankfully, you aren't changing into an athletic supporter in your back seat.
Listen, if pickleball
That's
game
a
breaks
very
out,
snug garment.
I'm ready. If pickleball game breaks out, I'm ready. I have
If
my
you hear the sound with the window down,
yeah.
Street pickle.
Yeah. Well, Roy's the same way. If he saw a basketball game,
He's got to jock up.
You have to?
he put his jockstrap on, put
Yeah.
his shoes on.
Hey, man, this is just pickup, right? Hold on. Oh, man, Williams is here acting weird again.
Be climbing this.
maybe that's like I know women have to wear awful undergarments, but the jockstrap, the original jockstrap, as designed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well,
What a contraption.
so he has us with it.
I promise no one's going to hit you in the balls, bro. We're just playing a quick pickup game out here.
Just hang on. I'll be right there. Give me a minute. Crouching
Don't
down.
look.
They're crouching behind the car. Well, he's got Wicked Wanda with him, and they're off to a movie. And he says, you know what? I'm going to propose.
So I said, I've got something for you in the back seat under my shorts. And I didn't really think about the fact that the jock was there too. I tell every player, every friend, young person, do 180 degrees away from the way I asked Wanda to marry me, because she opened it up and it's a ring, and instead of stopping the car and getting down on one knee or making it romantic or something, I said, well, what do you think? That was the way I proposed. So, yeah, I shouldn't do it like that, but we've survived 48 years.
That's right. Wicked Wanda's still with him after 48. She's combing through his jockstrap.
What do you
his
think?
Shorts and all that. Yeah. Yeah. And they're together. What do you think? Let's do it. That's Roy. That's inside. See how Graham Benzinger gets it out of him like that.
Don't know him.
It's unbelievable. I know.
Cell phones and jocks.
But you have a
Really
cell phone.
got it out.
I don't know what that thing is.
Is there a jock in your car right now? You better believe it.
Yeah, there's a
At all times.
The
I
charm.
bet the Verizon guys just hate it when they see him pull up.
Yeah, like,
Oh God, Roy Williams is here.
He's
Everyone
making
in
this noise.
Everyone in the store. Oh my God! Only people not excited. The workers.
Oh no!
It turned off again. You hold the button. I'll do it. Just give it to me.
Are you charging it at night, sir?
Am I what?
What? It keeps vibrating. I don't understand it. He didn't get
I
it.
can't hear it when it rings.
Roy don't know.
I can't see anything. You taped a picture over it.
Oh,
He literally said, he held it up. There's pictures of his grandkids taped on there. Very odd. That's Roy. He doesn't like technology. Now, the Charles Barkley story. He's talking with Shaquille O'Neal. They're on the TNT pregame for NBA basketball. Zion Williamson, superstar in the NBA, has not played yet this season. New Orleans Pelican.
Is he rehabbing or is it a surgery?
Had a tweak of something. I don't know exactly what he's hurt, but he's not been able to play yet. They're saying he's about 2 weeks out.
Okay.
Well, they had some video of him warming up. So he is out there, like, on the court, at least taking some shots. He's put on some weight.
oh,
All right, apparently he's put on some weight.
During his inactive time.
That's correct. Barkley noticed while on the set.
We saw some footage of Zion Williamson that caught your guys' attention, and I'd like to see it now. So this is Zion warming up. Chuck, you had a visceral reaction to this.
It looked like me and Shaq had a baby.
So it looks like he and Shaq had a baby in the off season.
What they gonna do? I look like I quit.
That's Shaq.
Quitting.
He said, he walked off. He's like, I quit.
I gotta get. Hey, come on, man. What do it look like? Chuck? Like me and you had a baby. God dang, dude. They eat good in New Orleans.
Word about Chico.
I'm joking and I'm serious. What do he look like? It's like, ooh, Shaq, we had a baby over the summer. Hey, you know what, Adam?
Yeah.
First of all, I'm concerned.
Okay.
I am really concerned.
Clearly. Yeah.
how big is he?
He's over. He's gotten bigger. He looks out of shape. He does not look like he's in game shape.
Mm-hmm.
I would say. I think he's well over 300. Right. I mean, they're saying I think he's like 3.
Yeah, he's
325.
always been big, and they've always made weight a concern with him. But I mean, he definitely looks.
He's definitely beefed up. It's
He's
not
beefed
like
up.
muscle either.
It doesn't look like he beefed up and trimmed down at the same time. It's just he's beefier.
I know this is a different sort of forum, but gentlemen, what we're dealing with here is body
It's a
shaming.
body shame.
It is.
And they showed him and they body shamed him.
He is supposed to be an athlete.
But you're right. You're right. Charles went on to say that when he was younger, he was called the round mound rebound. He was pretty big. And Moses Malone pulled him aside and said, "You're fat." And Barkley took it to heart. He's like, somebody in New Orleans got to get up in Zion's face, somebody he trusts, and say, you got to lose some weight. So that's where he went with that. There was a comedian, I like him, Nate Bargatze, who was talking about when he puts on extra weight.
I'm always like trying to lose weight. I had a thing that happened that I do. It was like, I got to get it together. Like I like to golf. And so I'll sometimes bring clubs and I'll golf on the road. And so I was in Florida and we go golfing. It's very hot, humid, gross. You get kind of feeling gross. So I wanted to change shirts before I drove back. And I go to the trunk of my car, and I take my shirt off, standing there, no shirt. And this old man walks up and goes, "Olivia?" I had to turn. I was like, "I'm sorry. What did you say?" I'm sorry. And he was like, "Oh, sorry, honest mistake." And I was like, "I don't know." He was looking for his elderly wife and saw me with no shirt on and thought that could be Olivia. I had a car that he does not recognize. None of this is making him not. He's like, I don't know. That's a dead ringer for Olivia. I don't know who he disrespected more, me or Olivia, to be honest. I mean, we could both have a word with him.
It happens. It happens. We have JD on the phone. You're talking about Roy Williams. Now, he's already said, I don't use a computer. I don't use email. He doesn't use it. He doesn't even know what the cell phone does. JD, you have a Roy Williams story. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I work at UNC Chapel Hill. One time I had to send an email out to pretty much everyone at UNC. And so I got this response from Roy Williams. I was like, oh, my God, Roy Williams responded.
Yeah.
It was an automatic reply that pretty much said, Roy Williams does not respond by email, and how dare you even try to contact him in the first place?
Wow. That's a great email reply.